if the room is calm enough and nobody is entering it anymore, I will introduce a very, very nice guy. He just told me before he's very proud to be himself. I don't know what it means, but I guess he will give us more information about it. Most of the time, you recognize him for his red trousers. Today, he don't wear it, but the performance will still be amazing, believe me. Welcome on stage, Sebastian, my cat.
Hello. All right. Can you hear me? Is that on? Okay, cool. Let's see if I can get my projector on. Yeah, cool, excellent. So, the reason why I'm not wearing red trousers, well, there are two reasons. Because I got bored of them and they got really worn out. That's one. And two, the Polish Airlines lost my luggage on the way here, but they messaged me just like half an hour ago that the luggage is on its way, so everything is fine. Like, no panic, no reason. So today we'll be talking about building chatbots, right? It's a pretty cool topic. I'm really excited about it, and it's really fun. So the agenda for today, so that we know what's going on. We will talk about what do chatbots eat. It's a serious question, and we should all know the answers. We will ask ourselves if they have dreams. I, by the way, know the answer, and you will learn it too. I'll explain you why to even bother with chatbots. You know, what's the big deal about them? I'll walk you through some usual challenges with people who try to build chatbots with various engines that are out there. And then at the end, I'll actually go and build one. And I will encourage you to actually try to do it yourself at home. Right, so let's go. Every 6-year-old asks it, right? What do chatbots eat? Anybody has an idea? Come on, one guess. It's not chorizo. Huh? No, such a boring answer. Chatbots eat pizza, of course. Come on, developers build chatbots, and then they eat pizza. You know, like you learn from your parents. All right, next questions. Do the chatbots have dreams? Yes or no? Yes, of course they do. What do they dream about? No, that would be too easy. Blade Runner, Rick Deckard. You know, come on, anybody? They dream of electric sheep. Exactly. Yes, they have dreams and they dream of electric sheep. Right, next thing. Why do we even bother with chatbots? And don't answer that, that's my job now. So that's the voice in the back of your head. And really the way I see it is like the way we communicate nowadays completely changed, okay? So we used to, and at least when I was a kid, and if I wanted to meet my friend, I would go to his house, knock on his doors, he would come out and we'd talk, right? But that's not the case anymore. We actually prefer to straight on just text to each other. We don't even talk. And I've been at dinners where I'll be WhatsApping with another friend that'll be sitting right next to me. It's like, it's completely weird, but this is what we do. This is where the society it is. You may call it right or wrong. I'm not here to judge, I'm saying what it is. And for that reason, like a lot of customers of the services that you deliver, they will expect you to give them chatbots. They want to text with the customer support, right? And there's a whole bunch of ideas and reasons why this is actually good and what kind of benefits we have. So obviously you can get an improved customer service with an extra helper from a chatbot. Also, chatbots can actually reduce some of the common pains that you would have in a call center. For one reason, chatbots can run 24/7, right? You don't have to feed them. They work pretty well non-stop. They're really good at handling repetitive tasks, right? So if I work in a call center and I had to answer the same question for like 1,000th time, I would probably, do some self-harm, right? While the chatbots, they don't mind. Even on the other side, they love doing the same thing because they're like, well, I'm really good at something, right? And also, the speed of communication with chatbots are really great because they can get a direct access to the data, right? So if, let's say, you have all your data about the users in your Salesforce, they can make just a very quick query, get the data, and then ship it back to the user. Or like, hey, you wanted an upgrade for your phone? Here's what I know about you. This is what you can get, right? While a person would probably have to spend like half a minute to 2 minutes to review what's possible and available. And that's pretty cool. But let's face it, the real reason, or at least for me, to build a chatbot, it's because it's fun to build one. It's like, who here actually builds something because it's practical? No, we do it for fun of it, like just these goats. I'm a very serious person, by the way. Moving on. So what are the usual challenges that we face with chatbots? And I've been doing some experimentation before, and there's few challenges that I faced and observations that I had. So one of them is a lot of chatbots would have a fixed decision tree. So what I mean by that is that the chatbot will expect you to do something in the order that the chatbot expects. So like go step 1, step 2, step 3. And here's an example of it. You go, hey, I want to book a flight to London for Wednesday. Well, it's better to London because at least there they wouldn't lose my luggage, but that's a different story. It's actually Polish airline fault. So anyway, so for Wednesday, and then the chatbot goes, yeah, I can help you book a flight. So far, so good. Where do you want to go? There's something wrong here. You go, well, London. When do you want to go? Well, on Wednesday. Sorry, didn't get that. So it's like, again, you see what's happening here. The chatbots has it all in one order where first he has to identify the conversation that he has to deal with. And next, they will ask you for the destination, for the date, or even ask you for data in a specific format that it expects. And that's kind of very, very, very problematic. And, you know, the user can get really tired and on and on. So obviously, you need a chatbot that can step out of that and then get the data from the user or information as the user gives it to us, right? And that's a lot better. So another one, the lack of understanding of business entities. So what I mean by business entity, if I'm building a chatbot for hospital, then doctors or type of treatments or maybe locations or hospitals, like those are entities, right? Like that. And the chatbot should be aware of that, right? If it's a taxi service, maybe you should know about, you know, the XL taxis or small taxis or regular, right? So that when I talk to it, it should be able to extract it from the sentences that I share. And things can go really wrong if that's not the case. So here's one chatbot. When I go, hey, I want to meet with Dr. Burke on Tuesday. Okay, so far so good. I can help you book an appointment. What is your doctor's name? So you go like, what? And at that point, you go, the chat responds with, what time would you like to see Dr. What? I mean, that's the name you gave it, right? And then you go like, what is going on? And the chat responds, I'm not sure I understand you. Me neither, right? It's like, it gets very, very confusing. And why? Because at the beginning, the chatbot didn't understand that Dr. Burke is a doctor that you want to see, right? And this is the real issue here. So the proper way of handling it is being able to teach your chatbot to understand all those entities, understand all the doctors, right? So if I say, I want to see Dr. Burke, automatically the chatbot should use everything that it learned about the hospital and all the entities and grab the entity of the doctor. So not only knows that it's Dr. Burke, but in this case, it will know that it's Dr. John Burke, and also probably know like what sort of specialty he does and all the other information that is relevant. And then from that moment, the chatbot can go, sure, I'll help you meet Dr. John Burke on Tuesday. That's cool. That's a lot better. Another one is a lack of proper acknowledgements. So, and what I mean is like, you could make a very long sentence where you provide a lot of information, and if the chatbot doesn't respond with what it understood, like it could get a bit confusing. So here's one. I'd like to sign up for a health insurance for a surfing trip to Lepe from October 9th to October 14th. Right? Lepe is like a fun place, right? That's what I hear. And if the chatbot responds with, what is your age? At this point, you go like, does he really understand that I want to go to Lepe to go surfing? It's like, maybe not. So the proper way of handling it, yeah, you should go to my info. The proper way of handling it should be like this. I want to go to Lepe. I need surfing. I need an insurance because I'm going surfing to Lepe from October 9th to October 14th. And the chatbot should respond with something like, a surfing trip to Lepe is always a good idea. Why not? Let's add a surfer. And then let's find you an insurance from this to this date. So it even actually provides like a more full dates so that you feel sure that he understands you, right? And then finally, you ask you for the remaining questions, like what's your age and what's your email address, etc., etc. And that's a lot better way of dealing with that. Another one is dealing with ambiguities. So it's actually, I always say that English is a very ambiguous language, and it's very easy to say something that means two different things. So chatbots can get confused even more. So here's one example where you can have somebody saying, hey, I talked to Dr. Burke, and he told me to book an appointment with Dr. Alcott, right? And at this moment, we're mentioning two doctors. The chatbot kind of gets crazy, and he was like, yeah, you want to see Dr. Burke, right? And then the person is like, no, I want to see Dr. Alcott. Don't you understand me? And so if we have a situation where chatbots are a little bit confused, a lot better way to handle it is, you talk about two doctors, I'm not quite sure. How about I say, hey, can you specify which of the doctors you're interested in? And at this moment, the user can actually go and select one of the doctors, and then we can move on with the conversation without any issues. Next challenge, lack of long-term memory. So chatbots are machines, right? They should be able to understand the things that we tell to the chatbot and then remember the previous answers from the previous session so that it can help us move forward, right? So here's one. Hey, it's me again. Can you book me an appointment with Dr. Burke on Tuesday at 11? So this is a person that comes and books the same appointment every week for the last 3 years, right? And if the chatbot responds with, sure, let me book you that appointment, what is your phone number? You are going to get annoyed. Because it's like, hey, like, don't you have it already? Like, come on. So a lot better way, again, to handle that is, I want to see Dr. Burke Tuesday at 11. Sure, let me help you. Is this number still valid, right? And at this point, if you say yes, you move on. If you want to change it, you could just say no and provide a new phone number. Anyone wants to guess whose phone number this is? And this is somebody very important in the UK. It's Boris Johnson's phone number. So it was Theresa May's phone number before. So if this was Theresa May accessing the service, she'd probably say no and then give us a new phone number, right? It would work. And that's why chatbots should be smart. Final challenge, lack of conversational UI. So I am talking about chatbots, and we expect, type. But sometimes chatbots should use the UIs to aid you with the journey, right? And here's one scenario. I want to book an appointment with Dr. Berg on Tuesday. Everything's fine so far. I understand you want to meet with Dr. Burke. What time? There's nothing wrong with that, right? Well, 12 o'clock. Sorry, Dr. Burke is busy at 12. And you can see the scenario, like, what time? This is going to take a while, right? Like, it's not going to really work. So, sorry, didn't get that. So, the way to handle it, if I want to see Dr. Burke on Tuesday, you should say, okay, I understand you want to see Dr. Burke. Here are available time slots. See, and at this moment, I can say, well, 11 is probably too early, but I can finish work at 15:30 and then go and see the doctor at that time. And then we can move on. Like, I can go and finally get my head checked, So, easy. Like, we know the challenges, why we should want to have chatbots and everything. So it should be pretty easy to build a chatbot. So there's one more story that comes here, and a bit of a motivation. So at Progress, a few years back, we had a hackathon, and we had a team that decided to build a chatbot to book meeting rooms, right? And it's super simple. You want to book a meeting room for a certain number of people that maybe would have a camera or a projector, that maybe will have special equipment, and then maybe you have, who should come in, and et cetera. And it sounded like a pretty cool scenario and easy to implement. And we were all like, jumping around, ready to go. Like we can build that. And then we came up with like this flow chart, or like, the logic design. And this is the picture of how we imagine the whole logic of it working. And now try to implement all of that with if, else, and switch statements. Like, basically, this was us trying to implement that. Nope. That's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. We implemented like 10% of what we wanted to do. And because of that, we were like, we need a solution that can handle that we can build things like that in a lot easier way. And that's how we actually created Kinvey Chat. We're gonna rename it to Native Chat very soon. So, but today it's still called that. And the idea is that we use AI for natural language processing to help you actually identify key information from the sentences that the user provides as an input. But more importantly, we are using declarative programming language to define what the conversation should do. Okay? So the idea is that I don't write any if statements or switches or anything. I just tell chatbot what I want to achieve. And the chatbot manages the full conversation. And let me show you what it really means. So we're using Hotason. That's how you guys say it, right? We use Hotason. And if I want to build a conversation, it's kind of like works as steps. So I say, hey, I need first step of type question. Then I want it to be a country. So I'm going to use the user for an input of country. And France, Germany, Italy, and Poland are like one of the input fields. And then I provide like a message prompt, which says like, hey, which country are you traveling to? And then finally, I can maybe provide some display hints. So if I use quick reply, that can display the buttons for every country that is available. Okay? And this basically just this little code of Hotason allows me to do this. I say, hey, I want to order a car, which of the countries, and then I can choose the country from the list in there. Just this little bit of code, and I already have like one very basic conversation. So, and we can expand on that and go forward on and on. All right. And one more thing before I jump in the demo. The same code pretty much works on Alexa, on Facebook Messenger, in Viber. You can embed it into any website, and it also works inside mobile applications, which is really, really cool. I was going to demo the Alexa integration, but you know, luggage, lost, all that. So I will show you the text base. So let's do a demo, and I will build an app for you. So this is me being brave. Some call it foolish, but I love live coding. So this is an existing chatbot, but I will just add a new conversation. So we are at a developer conference, and we want to order a pizza. Why not, right? That's what chatbots eat. So I will start, and I also have like IntelliSense to help me with building the conversation. So I want to build a conversation, and I will call it order pizza. Cool. Beer. Come on. Not yet. It's too early. Too early. So the first step, I could, for example, just to test it that it works. Let's see. Message. I can say, I see you want something to eat. Right. It's a very basic conversation. But what I have to do as one of the first steps is go into training conversations, and I have to teach the chatbot when to trigger this conversation. So if somebody says, I am hungry, I want a pizza, or order pizza, pizza please, or just add a pizza symbol. So if any of those expressions or something similar like this appears on the screen, the chatbot will go like, oh, you want this conversation. It's nice and easy. So that's cool. We also talked about entities. So important entities for a chatbot would be like the size of a pizza, okay? So, but we'll jump into that. But with just that little code, I can already test our chatbot. So what I can say is, I am hungry. And let me zoom in a little bit so that you see what's going on. Press enter. And then chatbot responds like, I see you want something to eat. So that's good. Let's drop a little pizza symbol. That should also respond that. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Not very impressive just yet, but but we're getting there. So let's teach it about this few things. So one entity for me would be a size of a pizza. So I'm going to use a static list because that doesn't change very often. And then one size, well, we'll have a small pizza, which will be 12-inch. So that's like, we have two ways of saying the same thing. We'll have a medium pizza, and that will probably be 15-inch. And we can also add a large pizza. And make it 21. Let's go proper big. Right? So we teach it about sizes, but we can also, and this is my backend. So if I go to demo API sample pizza, we can get a list of pizzas that are available. So, okay, let me teach my chatbot so that it understands from sentences when I say margarita or kale ricotta or something like that. So I'll create a new entity called pizza. And this time I will use a dynamic type. So I will say this. I want to load the data from this path. And then the name property is the one that I want you to learn about. So every time somebody sees any of those fields, like ham, pepperoni, or meat, I mean a pizza specific type. Okay, so let's create that. And already, without doing much, I can go back to training and say something. Ham is a good pizza when is large. Whatever, this sentence doesn't need to mean much. But you can see large and ham has been recognized as entities, right? So we can use it for dealing with our conversation. All right, cool. So let's build our chatbots. Order pizza. So this already works. I don't really want this message to be appearing. What I want is a couple of questions. One question. We will, and this like entity is like the name of a variable. Let me make it a bit bigger. And this is the type. So I'm saying I will first try to get type of the pizza, size of the pizza. So what size do you want? All right. And what else I can do? I can add, oops, I'm typing in the wrong place. All right, here, display. And I'll add a quick reply over here. So we can test that already. So let's say order pizza. And you can see by just doing that, I can display all the available sizes of pizza. I can go medium, and then the conversation's over. Well, that's clearly not enough to order a pizza, in my opinion. We should also ask to select the pizza, right? So another step question. And this time, we will ask for the pizza type. So I want you to display pizza. And let's do something like this. Which pizza would you like? All nice. Let's display it, type, and then this time I will use a carousel. So what you can also do, like you can actually make a query at this point as well. So I can add a little data source and endpoint, and I'll pass in like to get the data from there. Is that okay? Okay, all right. So we get the endpoint, and we need, let's do title first. And so some buttons, so select, and button text also select. It's only one of them is used for the carousel, but this is like a backup in case your UI didn't have a carousel. And then finally we have a template. So what this really does is we basically say as a title, so the main name that appears on for each item. Where are we? Is basically I want to use the name property for everything that we want to display, all right? And I'm gonna use double curly brackets, so basically that injects and then replace it as opposed to putting a main string. Then subtitle, there was a pizza type, so I'll either display whether it's meat pizza or something else, all right? And then finally, there is an image property, which is img. It's not OMG, it's IMG. And then I should be able to ask for a pizza. So let's see. Order a large pizza. So in this case, you could see the chatbot didn't ask me for the size because it already recognized that I wanted large. You can see here. But it didn't acknowledge it just yet. But you can see the carousel is actually displaying all those pizzas. So I can choose taco or some other thing, which is pretty cool. So I also talked about some other things like, well, the chatbot should acknowledge if you provide some information up front, right? So if I give you a size of the pizza up front, we have something called reactions. and I can say acknowledgements, and I can say, I see you like your pizza, and then say size. So we will acknowledge that you provided him these informations. And then we have suggestions. So the chatbot can also learn from you. If you always order large pizza, it will stop asking you which one. It will give you a suggestion, okay? So you seem to like your pizza size. Is that okay? All right, let's test that. So first test, I want a large pizza. I see you like your pizza large, right? That's one cool way of doing it. Let's restart this conversation. What I will do now, okay, let's just choose ham, that's quicker. Let's start teaching the chatbot to learn our preferences. So I go for ordered pizza. And in this case, you can see small is the last item, right? I'm gonna choose small, go with ham, all good. Again, order pizza. This time, small is the first option. So the chatbot already gives you a suggestion. So this is more helpful if you have like 20 items to choose from, right? All right, so I'm choosing small again. This time going for pepperoni. Everybody's getting hungry. And finally, when I order pizza, on the third run, what do we get? You seem to like your pizza small. Is that okay? And if I say yes, it will take that input. If I said no, it would let me change it, which is pretty awesome. So in order to complete this conversation, we need a couple of more steps. Oh, we're doing great for time. Perfect. So we ordered for size, for the type of the pizza that you want. We should probably ask for the address. So I'm going to ask question, let's call it location, and I'll just say text. Where should we deliver it? So you can provide that. And because it's free text, I'm going to make it so that it only listens to address when we get to this point. So I'll just say true. All right. I'm not going to demonstrate that. You can imagine how this works. This is pretty simple scenario. But the final, one of the last things we have to do gets maybe some confirmation. So let the user change their mind if they want to, right? So what we can do is say something, hey, maybe you want to change one, maybe name. Was it name? No, pizza, or size, or location. And I can say, are these details correct? So let's try that. There's going to be one more thing I will do after this. What's going on? Did I kill Wi-Fi already? Let's try one more time. All right. So we're going to order pizza. Let's make it bigger so that you see it. Because I closed the window, it treats it like a new user. That's why it doesn't remember it, but I go large. I would choose pepperoni. Where should I deliver it? Google Campus Madrid. Cool. And we have this message, right? Are these details correct? I was like, yeah, maybe not pepperoni. It's getting late. Maybe you should go something lighter and go veggie, right? And in this case, we have veggie, large, Google Campus, confirm, right? We're good to go. All right, so I've been demoing in this terminal, and I want to demo it in somewhere else. What I can also do from here, we can test it in different places, like I can test it in Messenger. So we have this proxy channel that I can go to. Let's make it a bit bigger. It's called Kinvey Chat. So I can provide this proxy and test our chatbot in Facebook. So I can say, hi. See, yeah, I want to order a pizza. Let's go medium. It works pretty nicely. Look, the carousel's working. Let's go for meat pizza. Where should we deliver it? Here. You know where I am. You're Google. I mean Facebook. Facebook. Confirm, and like we kind of good to go, right? It's like it's pretty awesome. So I was already able to test it in Facebook. I keep opening that slide. One other thing that I want to do, and that's going to be one of the last tests. Once you collected all the data and the user confirms that they want to order it, I have this little API for a basket. So if I go to like demo API, sample, basket, and Madrid, I can try to put something in that basket, right? Okay, so we have this step called webhook, and you could actually execute a call directly in there. So I can say add to the Madrid basket, and I need a name, and the name is gonna be pizza in the pizza property, and no size. It's okay. It knows the size because it's me. It's Sebi. It knows I want certain size, and then I can do pizza dot price because each pizza had a price property. So if I do that, it should automatically put it in my basket for me to order. All right, so we have this chatbot, and I'm not even gonna test it because I am feeling really brave. What I will do is this, go to publishing. So from here, I can publish it to like Facebook, Viber, and everything. And I wanna publish it to a web application, okay? And there's two ways. It could be either like a little icon on the bottom, or it could take a full page for our chatbot. So I will just copy this configuration. Let's make it bigger so you can see it as a whole. And what I have is, you all know this demo from Todd Motto, the like pizzas and everything. So in the index.html, in the body, well, like I add this script. We don't have Google APIs because we don't need maps. And basically, we have this couple of things here. So there is a script which has the JavaScript or HOTA-script. And then we have the CSS for the chatbot. But the actual thing is, like, here's the configuration that has all the IDs of the chatbot session. And then in here, I have this code that I execute the load, which creates this little pop-up. So on the main website, I can then click here. And this is going to be the final test, by the way. So let's all pray it's going to work. So I want to order a pizza. Let's see. Come on, baby. Yes. What? Oh, I went with order a book. No. I don't want a book. I mean, I have books. I want to order a pizza. All right. Yeah, there's a few of us. Let's make it large. Cool. All right. Veggie. What should I go? Ooh, taco. Yeah, taco. Here we go. Did I choose taco? Did I click something? Taco, yes. Where should I deliver it? So I have the address. So this time, we're doing it properly. Let's send it over here. All right. And now yeah, that sounds fine. It's correct. The order should get processed. It's still thinking. If you check the basket, it's here, right? And if this was like a real service, we'd all get a pizza now, right? Like, how cool is that? Come on. Yes? Who's that? Oh yeah, over here, over here. Thank you. Who likes Hawaiian pizza? Anyone over there? All right, pass it over. No, that's the Hawaiian. That's the taco pizza. That's the taco pizza. I mean, the service is still in testing, so we're working on it. It's a real pizza. It works. I mean, the stuff you can do with chatbot, you wouldn't imagine. So, what do you think? I think it's pretty cool. All right, if you missed it, I'll do it again. It's pretty cool. Matrix. All right, there's one other thing. All of the stuff that was building, like we call it like the low-code solution, but we are even heading more for no-code solution, right? So even people who don't know how to code should be able to build chatbots. So we are currently working, this is still in beta, where you are able to create conversations by clicking, dragging, and dropping. Like if you have a service, you could kind of point it to an endpoint and you could discover all the services, and then instead of typing everything, you could just say, hey, I wanna put it in a basket or order pizza or check the ingredients, right? Or make it extra spicy because you can. So where do you go next? So this is like one of the final slides. If you wanna learn more about this chatbot, you could go to our website progress.com/kinvey/chat. We have the developer playground, so where I was doing all the coding, it's at bots.kinvey.com. The documentation is already in docs.nativechat.com. There's a couple of tutorials that I created. So one is for building a chatbot like that, which is text-based, but there's also one for Alexa, so you can try it at home. At the moment, it only works with English-speaking versions of Alexa, but we'll introduce other languages later on. And we also have a case study. So one of the first customers was Dr. Sterev in Sofia, and it's pretty interesting story because they reduced the amount of times they talk to I'm gonna say pedestrians, but they're patients. Yes, you need patience to be a patient. So literally they reduced 50% of the communications with the patients because they were able to do quite a lot just with a chatbot, which is pretty amazing. And if you want to play with the demo that I built, you could go to bit.ly/Angular pizza chat. So the chatbot that I built, you could go there and play with it because that's available online. You also got a pizza. And an important announcement, no electric sheep were hurt in the making of this presentation. Thank you very much.